What advice would you have for someone who is trying to transition, especially from education like you?
Yep, I would say from education or anywhere, just stay consistent and persistent. Like just keep going. It gets discouraging. Just keep going.
Hi, I'm Anna Anderson, CEO and founder of the Women in Project Management Network. I'm a project manager by profession, a career coach, a PMP trainer, and a LinkedIn learning instructor. But more importantly, I'm someone who's been in your shoes. Not too long ago, I was filled with doubt, stepping out of my comfort zone and navigating rejection after rejection. It wasn't an easy journey, but through perseverance, hard work, and lessons learned, I finally found my yes. That moment changed everything, not just for me, but for the many people I've since had the privilege to help. I've seen how lives transform when you have the right tools, when you have the right support and encouragement to pursue those six-figure project management roles. On the Project Management Connect show, here I share inspiring stories from project managers who've gone through aspiring to hire. I also bring in industry experts, recruiters, and hiring managers to show us how it's done. Together, we'll explore practical strategies and actionable tips to help you on your journey. So, whether you're just starting out, transitioning into project management, or looking to elevate your project management career, this podcast is for you. If project management feels like your calling, or if you're just exploring, it's time to dive in. So let's get started, fellow project manager. Your journey begins here. All right, today we have with us Redina. Redina is an amazing member of the Women in PM network. Redina was a teacher and now she is a senior project manager. But before we continue, hi Redina, do you want to introduce yourself to us today?
Yes, hello. My name is Redina Parks. I am, like Anna said, a senior project manager. I currently work for online university for the past 2 years. I came from a teaching background, so I taught for about 15 years.
So that's a long time to be teaching or rather being in a teaching profession to switch into project management. But can you tell us what inspired you to get into project management?
Well, what inspired me? So initially, I have an uncle who was in the field.
Mhm.
So I was curious about it, did a little research, and then like saw the correlation. I'm like, I run projects, I can do
Mhm.
this, but also, just to keep it real, the money, the work-life balance. So that is, really what inspired me.
Yeah. And as a teacher, what were you teaching?
So I taught health and physical education. I
Mhm.
taught at the elementary school for about 10 years and then at middle school for about 5.
Yeah, me and you used to talk about like middle school because at that time when you joined the community, my daughter was in middle school and we could relate a couple of stories. And so you came from being a health teacher and a physical education teacher into being a senior project manager. What are some of those skills that you feel like helped you or that you had first as a teacher that you felt you transferred into project management?
Right. So at my last role at the middle school, I was a teacher, but I was also the department lead. So I
Hmm.
managed teams. I managed my team. I managed cross-functional teams. So I brought those skills in. I brought the communication skills because, as a teacher, you have to be able to
Yeah.
communicate.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, just really leading teams, I brought that in, and I think that's, like, the biggest thing, really communication. I'm noticing that is, like, the major skill
Yes.
that you need to have as a
Yeah.
project manager, and I
Yeah.
know we use it all the time, but yeah.
Correct. So I know you said also your uncle also was in this space as well, but what did you know about project management?
When I first started, nothing.
Yes.
I what's a project manager? And it's
Uh-huh,
funny because I talked to my sister-in-law,
uh-huh.
she's been my sister-in-law maybe for years, and I spoke with her, she's like, "Well, I'm a project manager." Never knew. Never
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, so I knew nothing about it. So I did a little research. I went to Google, YouTube University, and then I listened to podcasts. I was just all over, just trying to find out what they really do.
Yeah, yeah. And so now you project management piqued your interest and you started researching, as you said, you went to Google, you did all kinds of research, and then finally you decided this is where I want to be. And then you started your journey. How was that journey for you?
How was it? Well, so it started, I got my PMP,
Yeah.
and went through the whole study process, passed. And so I thought it was like how we job searched in the past.
Mm-hmm,
Just
mm-hmm.
apply online at different jobs, you'll get an interview, you get the job. It
Yeah.
it didn't work. It didn't work. I was struggling just to figure out like the new norm, like the new way of job searching, applying.
Mhm.
So everybody's like, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. So of course I went to LinkedIn. I didn't know what I was doing. And then somehow, thankfully, I found
Mhm.
you and your program.
Yeah. And I remember when you joined the program, as you said, everything was new for you because this was a field that you're coming in from teaching and education. But as you said, also, you are, leading in your
Mhm.
department, your department lead. And so you had all those soft skills that you were bringing into project management, but then you had to learn those hard skills, the risks, stakeholder engagement. Tell me a little bit, how was that curve for you?
It wasn't bad. I think the major thing in learning with the PMP, you learn about the soft skills and the hard skills. And then even with your program, it's just reinforcement. You learn
Mhm.
those too. So it wasn't as hard. I mean, I'm not into tech or anything, so I don't have any like super hard skills,
Mhm.
but having the knowledge of those hard skills and then applying it seemed seamless just because of all of the knowledge that I had, your program.
So you joined, we worked on your resume, we worked on your LinkedIn profile, and you started networking, Redina. I give you props because your networking game was on another level. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I followed, the script. I followed, you told us to network, you told us to all the things. I
Yeah.
tried to follow it in my own way. So I
Mhm.
did try to get on LinkedIn and just tell my story. I was really nervous about talking project management at the time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I just told my interview stories and my
Yes.
interview questions. And it connected with a lot of people since
Mhm.
people are always looking for a job. So that's really what helped me with like gaining that connection on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your posts would go viral. And you have, like tons of people just comment and give you feedback. And I loved it because it was always conversational. You're
Mhm.
speaking with people who are also in the same boat as you, looking for opportunities, or they've just gotten the opportunities and they're giving you some type of motivation and things like that. So that was good. And also, you took a couple of short courses on LinkedIn just to support you outside of your PMP. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? How those helped you?
And I can't really remember. It's been so long, but I know I took a project management course, excuse me, where they talk about basic project
Hmm.
management. I took some of the SDL.
Yes, DLC.
Oh, I took those. So,
Yeah.
what really was helpful, if I had a job coming up and they talked about specific things that I lacked knowledge in or I saw that there was a gap, then I would migrate to those courses just to
Mhm.
get like a quick, that quick knowledge. I did use it in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Regina, your journey was not an overnight journey. It
No,
took you about 9 months to finally get your role. And I know there are times you're like, I'm the only one. Everyone else who came in with me has already gotten the job.
ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you say 9 months, but it started a year before that because I got my PMP and it
Yeah.
took almost a year. And I met you and it took another 9 months. So it was a minute.
Almost 2 years.
So and I totally forgot the question. So how was the process?
Yeah, how was the process? Because I know at some point also we would meet and there were a little bit of tears because you're like,
A
why is
lot of
it
tears.
just a lot of tears? Yes. Why is it just me? So and so has just gotten her role. So and so, why is it taking so long for me? So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Right. So with the program, I tried to do all the things, whether it was like the full information that you have on the site where we can
Mhm.
go and just listen to like it just took us step by step, like how to do the LinkedIn, how to, resume, how to connect with people on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So I would do that. I would also attend our weekly sessions. I was trying to network. I made connections with the women in the
Mhm.
group. I did my star stories, interviewed again and again. So it was a process, but I tried to do all the things. I had a lot of imposter syndrome and I did not think that I was ever going to get a job, but I just was committed to sticking to it and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. I mean, it took a long time, and I'm okay with that,
Mhm.
because I knew the areas that I needed work in, but it worked. It did.
Yeah. And I know it took 9 months, but I'll never forget that day. You gave me a call. You called me on FaceTime and you're like, Anna. And I was like, what? And you just screamed and told me, I got the job. And both of us started to scream.
You scream, I scream, you scream, we
I
just scream. I
know.
didn't know if any words were spoken, but we understood, yeah.
We understood what that was. Tell me about that moment. How did you feel?
Man, like I said, just because I had been on so many interviews, it was just like, "Oh, okay, another interview." So I had an interview like one evening. I stayed at work, interviewed with two males from the company, and I walked away like it was a really nice interview. It was
Mhm.
pleasant. They were welcoming, respectful, acknowledged my skills, but walked away thinking, "Oh, it was just a nice interview. I probably won't get the job." The following day, it was in the evening, the recruiter called, and so she's like, "Oh, hi, Redina." You know, her tone was low, so I'm like, "Okay, here we go. She's gonna tell
Mhm.
me I didn't get the job." And then she's like, "You got the job." So I started
Oh.
screaming with her first.
Oh, she was screaming too?
Like, "I'm so happy for you." So I just started screaming. I'm like, "You just don't know." Yeah, and then you were the first person I called.
Mhm.
Even before my
Exactly.
husband, I was like, "I
I
got it." Yeah.
because I understood what was happening and I'd seen your journey, Regina, because you came in, but you were determined because, as you said, you attended Sunday session. Sometimes it would just be me and you for the first maybe
Mhm,
20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we'll just talk through things just to make sure you're in the same space. I'm answering any questions that you have, or you're just also, being comfortable as you continue with your journey. Speaking of a recruiter, so this was an agency that
mhm,
reached out to you, that worked with you? Because a lot of people, you go through the process that you said, you did your PMP, and then you're like, I'm going to follow the same process, apply for a job online and wait for them to call me. But the process has changed now. Don't go out there and apply because there are millions of other people applying for the same role. You have to do different routes, whether you're networking or using an agency. And in this situation, you used an agency to
mhm.
support you. How did that process go?
Yeah, I think you made a couple good points. The recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn, but I don't even think like had I not been in your program, they wouldn't have even reached out
Hmm.
because, before, prior to the program, I didn't have those keywords. All the little things that you tell us to do, I wouldn't have been networking. I would not have, been creating posts, where you pulling the algorithm towards you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't even think I would even gotten the opportunity had not been in your program.
Yeah.
So they reached out via LinkedIn. We went through all the things about the salary, the job description. We scheduled an interview, and the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The rest is history. So it's important for people also to, start reaching out to agencies, as I said. If they don't reach out to you, be the one being proactive, reaching out to them as well. So I want to go back to your interviews because I heard you say you were creating your stories. How did that prep you for this final interview? You said you had two gentlemen who interviewed you.
So we create star stories. I started creating them by myself, and then we would review them in our weekly sessions. I was really sensitive about my star stories. I don't know if many people are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, it goes with imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
which so I did create those star stories, but it did help in the interview process. I just don't interview well. I
Mm-hmm.
started fumbling, I
Mm-hmm.
forget the star stories, but I was able to just remember what I had been practicing over and over. And it came out smoothly, or I hope that it came out smoothly
Mm-hmm.
in the interview. So
Mm-hmm.
they did help. They helped a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But writing those down is very important as well because you just can't have them in your brain. You'll forget. So that's why I always insist, please write them down. Even if you have to write one story down a day, it's time consuming, but it's one
Mhm.
of those things that will help you hopefully accelerate your opportunity. So anyway, so you finally got your opportunity as a senior project manager. Was the salary what you were looking for?
It was, I started off high. I'm
Mhm.
like that month one of 9, I was like, okay, six figures, like, over six figures. Then, it started dwindling. I'm like, I'll take 50,000. No.
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm,
started, budging on my salary. And you will always say, no, no, ma'am.
mhm, mhm,
Ask for what your word. And I did. So I do make six figures. I make a little over six figures. They came with, I guess, right at six figures. So I countered and asked for more. And then
mhm.
they gave me a little bit more. We met in the middle.
Yeah.
but I do make, 6 figures, a little over.
Mhm.
I jumped and even to compare my teaching salary, I had
Mhm.
like a
Oh,
$40,000-$45,000
wow.
pay raise.
Yeah. And you are also working fully remote
Yeah.
at home right now. How's that going for you?
It's awesome. It is I'm just grateful,
Mhm.
honestly, because I was commuting an hour, to and from work, so 2 hours a
Mhm.
day. I had 2 little kids.
I know.
Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a
Mhm.
struggle. A
Mhm.
lot of the weight fell on my husband. Then the kids just, they want mom time.
Mhm.
But we're
Mhm.
busy cooking, cleaning, trying to, you know, advance in our career.
Mhm.
So it has really just opened up a whole new world. I'm
Mhm.
more flexible. If they call me from school, I can run to the school and drop something off, come back home. So working remote has really changed my life, my family's life. It's been a joy.
Yeah, yeah. And you work in a different time zone as well from yours. So you're able to do a couple of those morning routines with your family before you start your own day as well, as a project manager. All right. So now you started your role. Brand new. I mean, I'm not saying you're brand new, but this is what your first role as a project manager. How did you go about that?
Oh, well, I work in a PMO,
Mhm.
and so I'm also grateful for being in a PMO. I know
Mhm.
some people don't like it, some people like it. I love it. I love
Mhm.
it because it's like cut and dry. They tell
Mhm.
you what you need to do, you follow
Mhm.
those directions, and you get it done. But I will say, like in the organization that I work at, there's so much, and it's similar to your program, it's so much power in community. I work with about 30 other project managers and they are super supportive. We have constant training, even with new hires. We train
Mhm.
new hires, and it's just support. It's
Mhm.
honestly support. So it's been a great transition from a non without the title project management position to one. It's been awesome. It's been
Mhm.
a confidence booster.
Awesome. And you're managing very large projects right now. Did you ever imagine that 3 years ago?
No, I was like, imagine like a $50,000 project. Now it's like
Mhm.
4 million and
I know.
like
And you're doing them so well and stuff like that. So that's really awesome to hear, Redina, because your story it shows that you were determined. It took long, but you were determined to get that next opportunity because, you were just not giving up. Because there are some people like, you know what, it's not coming. I'm just gonna go back to my old routine. But you're like, that was it. That's done. I want to move on to my next routine. What advice would you have for someone who is trying to transition, especially from education like you?
Yep, I would say from education or anywhere, just stay consistent and persistent. Like just
Mhm.
keep going. It gets discouraging. Just keep going. And it sounds really cliche,
Mhm.
but honestly, keep going. Like you said earlier, I would attend the calls, I would cry on the calls, I would take a break, not a long break like that day. I'm like, I'm not doing anything today. And then get back to it that next morning. Just
Mhm.
stay refreshed. I would say just stay consistent and positive self-talk.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah,
what's gonna get you through.
yeah. So, what's next for you in your career?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm kinda nervous. Like, I've been here for a little over 2 years. I think it's time to transition to another role.
Mhm.
I'm a contractor, so
Mhm.
there it's I feel like it's no career growth,
Mhm.
as far as, like, making more money. So I think it's time to look for a new role, so I
Mhm.
reached out to you.
Mhm.
I'm like, "And I need to come back."
Yeah,
So and I think that speaks to your program, it is a community. It's not
yeah.
just like a one and done, you get
Mhm.
a job, see you later. It is something in a group you can keep coming back to, and you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
stay connected and
Yeah.
stay supported. Yeah.
Yeah, I like getting connected with everybody, especially when someone gets a role. Like when you got a role, I was like, oh, Redina is gone now. But like a lot of the ladies, like, when they get their role, they get their time back. Like, time that they were coming to sessions, now they can do something else. Maybe whatever, spend time with their family or whatever it is that they want to do. But sometimes it's like that student who graduates and you're like, come back. So I'm always happy when I see, people already gotten their roles, just coming to check in or just being part of a session
Yeah.
motivating others as well. That's just feels good. How can people find you, Redina?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. I haven't posted in a while. I think I need to start. I am Redina Parks on LinkedIn. I have other socials. They're not project management related, but if you want to follow, if you're into fashion and womanhood and beauty, then Instagram, Redina HP. So
Yeah. And I'll put those links in the show notes so that people can follow you if they want to, or people can reach out to you if they want to as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words, Redina?
Final words. I am going to go back to, if you are questioning, if you're just listening to the podcast,
yeah,
wonderful. But if you need some direction and instruction, and if you're like me and you need like clear direction, then I will say Anna's program is for you.
Oh.
Yeah. And also I understand in the midst, it is discouraging, but keep going. Yeah. Keep going. It will happen.
I love that you say keep going, because that's the only way we can. You cannot change the past, but you can change your future. You can, you can pause, put some brakes on, but you have to continue going. And if this is a journey that you want to go to, then that's the only way. Keep going. So thank you, Redina. This has been amazing. I'm always excited to speak with you and just see you, because you're just a breath of fresh air, and you're always so positive and just motivating and encouraging. And I love your story, and I just want to see you continuously succeed and continuously be what you want to be in this situation. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.